Hello, and welcome to Lesson 4 of the Masuda Ashi Introductory course. Today we'll be talking about the color of Masuda Ashi real bodies and also the length of Masuda Ashi real bodies, their meaning and implications. The chart that we're looking at now is for the stock code 8306, which is Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group, or MUFJ for short. As we have discussed before, the top part of the chart shows the Masuda Ashi chart comprising of the 3-day, in this case the daily chart, the 3-day Masuda Ashi real body line, the 25-day and the 75-day, respectively the short-term, medium-term and long-term Masuda Ashi real body lines. And also one of the fundamental rules of the Masuda Ashi chart system is that pink signifies an uptrend or rising energy, and this aqua blue signifies a downtrend or declining energy. The chart here for 8306, as you can see, has been declining over the last several months. Now, in order to have a closer look, we'll position the basis line, which is the white line, here as of April 30. Now, if we look up the top, we have the open, high, low, close, the 4 prices for each day from which the Japanese candlestick is formed. Now, over here is the difference to the previous day's close. So today's close as of April 30th was 494. That was down 5 from the previous day. Now we'll move to the right and see how we go. 472 is the next closing price, which is down 22. That makes sense. And we're still in a downward or declining phase, downtrend. And as you can see, the Masuda Ashi real body is still blue. Let's move another day to the right. We're down 12 yen from the previous day, and still the Masuda Ashi real body is blue, so we're still in a downtrend. Oh, just a minute. The Masuda Ashi real body is still blue, but we've increased 8 yen on the previous day. If you remember, it was 460, we're now at 468, plus 8 versus the previous day, but we're still showing a blue Masuda Ashi real body, which would indicate a downtrend. What's happening here? Let's keep going. Oh, the next day we're down again 8 yen. And in the downtrend, we would expect the Masuda Ashi real body to be blue, as it is. Down 11 yen the next day. Oh, just a minute. Up 13 yen. We're back to 462, but the Masuda Ashi real body is still blue. Now, why could this be? What I want you to remember, this is a key concept for the Masuda Ashi chart. The pink and blue does not necessarily represent the daily fluctuation in share prices. The pink represents an uptrend and the blue represents a downtrend. The colors are indicators of the larger trend, not the short-term daily fluctuation in individual share prices. So, even though on this day, for example, the share price jumped 13 yen versus the previous day, it's not to say that we're going to get an instant turnaround in the trend. The overall trend is still downward. It's still in a downtrend. And the fact that the share price jumped back 13 yen just means that we're not at a bottom yet. The 13 yen reversal is not strong enough to change the trend, the overall trend in this share price. Similarly for the other day when we were up by 8 yen. That's not enough to mark a bottom in the trend. So just remember that even if we have day-to-day changes in the share price, the pink and the blue represent the overall larger trend in share prices. So this left-hand side of the chart here represents an uptrend phase or an rising energy, and the right-hand side, where it's mainly blue, represents a downtrend. And this 8 yen up on the previous day, as well as the 13 yen that we had, if you were a short seller and you were in a short position, the fact that the share price had come back, for example 13 yen versus the previous day in this example, would not be cause for alarm where you would have to suddenly fill your position and get out of the short trade. Because of the overall trend is still down, still in a declining phase, you should be able to remain pretty confident of holding on to your short position for some time yet, until there is a more concrete or a stronger indication that the trend has actually turned up. And whereas most people would tend to be euphoric if their stocks were up one day, or depressed if their stocks were down on a given day, remember that in the previous lesson 3 we talked about how Masuda Ashi real bodies actually require 4 days worth of closing prices to be able to construct one real body. So a daily fluctuation in share price is not necessarily going to instantaneously change the real body color from red to pink or vice versa. There are actually 4 days of closing prices that influence a particular day's real body color. And as we just discussed again, the pink and the blue are representative of the larger trend in share prices, not indicative of a short-term daily fluctuation up and down. That basically concludes our discussion of the color of Masuda Ashi real bodies for now. The next point regards the length of Masuda Ashi real bodies. Even if you have the same color rising Masuda Ashi real bodies, as in this case here, we have some which are relatively longer and some which are relatively shorter. Now, yes, the fact that they're all pink in this series means that the trend is upward. It's in a rising phase, but if you notice that the shorter Masuda Ashi real bodies looks like the trend is slowing down somewhat. And that's precisely what's happening. The length of the Masuda Ashi real body is an indicator of the strength of the energy, the underlying share price momentum or energy. So longer bodies indicate stronger rising energy in the pink case, and shorter bodies here indicate a slowdown or declining rising energy. So as the energy peters out, you could almost expect that there might be a change in color towards blue, which is exactly what happened in this case. And the converse is also true. We have long declining bodies here, long blue Masuda Ashi real bodies. This means that the downward momentum or the declining energy is very strong. And as we keep going down here, the Masuda Ashi real bodies get shorter, and so there might be cause to expect that there'll be a turnaround back to pink if the energy has bottomed out, which is in fact what happened. However, notice that the pink Masuda Ashi real bodies here are still very short, which indicates that the rising energy, the kind of rebound energy, is very, very weak. So there is no significant upturn or change in the trend here. And in fact, what happens is that after a slight correction or a plateau, the declining energy takes hold again, and we see a few more longer Masuda Ashi real bodies which are blue. And then we have a little bit of a fluctuation in the 3-day line, but as you can see, the medium term Masuda Ashi real body line, which is the 25-day line, and the longer term Masuda Ashi real body line, which is the 75-day line, are both in an ongoing downtrend. And if you recall back to our first lesson when we added the Masuda Ashi shadows for each period, you can clearly see that even though we have some slight rebounds in the 3-day line on occasion, the overall trend is still very downward. And conversely, up to the turning point that we had here, the energy looked to be rising. So with the addition of Masuda Ashi shadows, we can identify the trends very easily. And now we have discussed both the color of the respective Masuda Ashi real bodies, pink indicating an uptrend, blue indicating a downtrend. And one further factor is that the length of each Masuda Ashi real body in the context of the other real bodies that come before it and after it is very significant. So again, longer real bodies, when they are pink, indicate strong rising energy. Shorter bodies indicate a slowdown or a weakness in the rising energy. So you might expect a turnaround to blue, which is what happened in this case. And a series of longer blue real bodies indicates strong declining energy. As they get shorter, the declining energy seems to be petering out. However, the rebound to red in this case, to pink, excuse me, was only very weak and was followed again by a further downward phase. So I hope you're getting a fair idea of how beneficial the color pattern of the Masuda Ashi chart is, the pink and blue, as well as the significance of the length of the Masuda Ashi real bodies themselves, plus when we add Masuda Ashi shadows. All of these tools enable us to spot trends at a glance, identify turning points, and basically get a very accurate picture of where share price direction is and also share price energy or momentum. These are the key benefits of the Masuda Ashi chart system, making it easy to visualize, read, and interpret charts at a glance. Now, that's basically it for this fourth lesson. In the next lesson, lesson 5, we'll be looking more closely at some of the basic chart patterns, getting into a bit more application of not only reading and interpreting Masuda Ashi chart patterns, but also using those to come to some decision about when would be a good time to buy into a trade, and also when would be a good time to sell or take profit. See you in the next lesson. Thank you.